Hi everyone, welcome to Berkeley Wargaming. Tom here. First episode of Tom's Rants. Still haven't got a better name for that. We really need to work something out. But kind of decided to start doing these at the right time because obviously the entire community's gone absolutely mad over 8th edition in the last few days. The rumour mill has had that there's going to be a new edition for quite a long time. And I'm fairly excited by some of the stuff I've seen, to be honest. It kind of reminds me reading through what's come out and also watching the video, the live stream they did today from Games Workshop, which, let's just say as an aside, Games Workshop doing preemptive FAQs, taking questions from the community like that, I think we can all agree it's a new company in the way it's being run nowadays to how it used to be. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of 2nd and 3rd edition, which is when I first started playing the game. I mentioned before, I played Epic and I played Space Crusade and Space Hulk and things like that. And, just little things like if you charge, you attack first in Assault, which I know I've seen some people complaining, how's that going to work? What if a guardsman charges a demon prince? But all they'll do, and I'm sure it'll probably even be called the same thing, back in 3rd edition you had always strikes first as a rule, so certain models, i.e. things like demon princes, gene stealers, specialist assault units would have the always strikes first rule, so they would attack first, regardless whether they were charged or not. The same as Terminators with Power Fists had always strikes last. So I reckon that's what they're going to do. They're going to have always strikes first, always strikes last to kind of keep that initiative step in check because, well, if they don't, you're just going to see Terminators with Power Fists everywhere. But, well, who knows? Maybe they'll come up with a different way of doing it, but that's the way I foresee it going. Obviously today with the video they've done, everyone's really excited because they've said there's going to be a new faction. There's all kinds of rumours flying around about who that could be. It's kind of interesting because usually by this point, if you go to the right websites, the right kind of rumour sites, you pick things up. And while 8th edition's been rumoured for a long time, there's been nothing about a new faction. So some people are saying, is it the new Marines, the ones that there's been some images of up on the new site, which look more like a true scale Marine 2.0, people have been calling them, which have been rumoured since the rebirth of Reboot Guillemin. I'm never sure how to pronounce his name. He says at the end of that book that he's going to be rebuilding the Marines. He's going to be doing some things like that. So there's been that rumour that they were going to appear. It looks like that's confirmed from the images we've seen. And yeah, there's just a lot of interesting rules. The fact they're going to be having different force organisation charts. I believe there's 14 of them now. There's going to be command points, which, again, I've always thought it's a really good idea because other than the kind of stat line boosts, there's never really been much of a reason for running things like a chapter master over a captain or a captain over a chaplain. And obviously for a long time it was common in Space Marine armies to just take a librarian as their HQ. So I'm hoping what we'll see is if you take something like a captain, he's going to have more of a command value than, say, a librarian, who they're not a commander as such on the field. They're a HQ unit, but their job's not to command, it's more to buff forces around them. And again, with chapter masters, they'll have an increase on that. So you'll start to see, I think, some really interesting builds, which is what the game needs, let's be honest. Anybody that wants to get into this hobby now can go online, look at the LVO or any of the big tournament lists, go out and spend a couple of £100 buying everything that's on the tournament and basically build a list that is, within reason, nigh unbeatable in at least local settings. Maybe not grand tournaments where there's people coming prepared for things like that, but it's kind of, and it killed 40k for me. And I know, speaking to Dan and speaking to James before he left, he often said the same thing. The formations and everything like that had just really destroyed 40k. It had been power creep, and it looks like what they're doing with this is they're just dumping all of that. They're getting rid of that power creep. They're going to start having new ways of doing force organisations. Yes, formations are going to exist, but you can counter them. And I think that's just really, really good news. The one thing I'm really happy about is that 30k is staying on 7th for now. I think that's really important because of the difference in the game. The fact there are so many unique rules, I'm kind of interested to see how they balance that. Personally, I'm of a frame of mind that maybe there'll be a 30k specific rulebook. I know I've spoken to people about this on some of the community sites and they disagree. But I know there was a rumour a while back that there was going to be a 30k rule set, and it was going to be kind of marketed as the advanced version of 40k. Now, again, whether that's true, who knows? But it does seem anything's possible with Games Workshop as they are at the moment. I was trying to think of other new rules. I did get a few that I've printed out. Obviously, there's going to be 3 play styles, very much like Age of Sigmar. I'm not a big fan of Sigmar, I've got to be honest. I'm really not. And people are saying that this new 40k is Age of Sigmar 40k, but reading what's come out, it really doesn't seem that simplistic. And Sigmar did have a rough start. From the people I speak to, the people that do play it, it's come on day and night since they launched it, and obviously the company have learned from that difficult couple of months that they had when they launched the game, that perhaps this is a better way of going about it, and I'm kind of glad they've taken that on board. Really interesting, same vehicles that have got toughness values, getting rid of armour values. Yeah, so the big one has always been dreadnoughts that people have moaned about, because a dreadnought has obviously had an armour value. It's been a vehicle, whereas every equivalent model, whether you're looking at Riptides, I know they're a little bigger, but Wraith Guards, things like that, have all got a toughness value. And it just doesn't really make much sense in terms of the gameplay. And I know a lot of people, before they officially announced that it was going to this getting rid of armour values altogether, a lot of people did think that the obvious one, even if they didn't go that far, was going to be that all walkers would convert into being to no longer being vehicles. So that would also include things like war walkers and sentinels and the like, which, you know, they have a use, and in specialist lists they work really well, but they didn't work for everybody. So yeah, I'm going to keep this video quite short. Please comment below anything you think about the 8th edition stuff that we know so far, and all the rumours that are going with it. We're obviously all excited by this new faction. We're all really excited to see a new box set, I'm sure, see what they come out with. But I don't want to go too in depth, because at the moment we've only kind of got what's been spoken about. There's not a huge amount that's actually been put out in black and white, and until, I don't know about you guys, but until I see it in front of me that I can hold that rule book, I don't want to go 100%, because the way one person describes a rule can be very different to how it actually comes out on paper. So we'll have to wait and see. I do just want to show you something quickly though. We're working on the new Zone Mortalis table. It's looking really good. There's some cool stuff going on with it. It should be ready in a couple of weeks, to be honest with you. But yeah, we have some cool shipping containers, which are all done out. I don't know if you can see on there, and on the back of that one, they've got the Without a Clue WarGaming logo. These are awesome. They are from XLC Wargame Terrain. Website's there. The xlc.co.uk. These guys are phenomenal. The stuff they make is just out of this world, and I'm really looking forward to having it on the table and letting you guys see it in action. But if you're looking for just, I mean, I've had a lot of MDF terrain over the last 5-6 years, and this stuff is just beyond the standard I'm used to. The print quality on it, I mean, this is just, you know, it's MDF that's been printed over. The print quality is just absolutely superb, and the detailing's amazing. It's very hard to make out on the camera, but that very small logo they've done on there, I mean, look, it's not even the size of my finger now, and just the detail on it's immense. So if you are looking for anything, do get in touch with those guys. Tell them that you heard about them here. Like and subscribe. 750 subscribers we're so close to, so if we get there, there will be a competition. Still running the 1,000 sub competition. There has been a little while without us doing a bat rep, obviously with everything that's happened Without a Clue recently. It's going to be a little while before we get everything ticking over again. Myself and Dan are playing in the tournament this Saturday at Wargamers Den in Rainham. Still some places available for that. I'll stick a link in the description below. But yeah, we'll start getting the battle reports coming out in the next 2 weeks at the very worst, and the new Zone Mortalis table should be coming out shortly after that. So yeah, thanks for watching, happy wargaming, and let me know what you think about 8th.